Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Game 3 goes to Minnesota. They lead the series 2-1. 116-104 was the score in Minnesota. The Lakers dropped the game, man. They dropped the game. We had a tie game with 4 minutes to go and just did some of the things that we did throughout the course of the game that hurt us, all in a flurry in the last couple of minutes of the game. That's what I saw there. The first quarter, we won the quarter 32-26. Second quarter, we lost, vice versa. I don't know why I've been doing that all day. 32-26 was the Timberwolves having the first quarter lead. Then we went and had a 32-point quarter to their 22 in the second quarter. They had a 32-point quarter in the third. We went for 26 in the third. And then they had a 30-point quarter in the fourth. We only went for 20 points in the quarter. Yeah, man, let's get into the team stats. We'll look at these, see what it says here. The Lakers shot 47% from the field, 37 of 78. The Wolves shot 48% from the field, 44 of 91. The Lakers shot 42% from 3, 17 of 40. The Wolves shot 13 of 36 for 36%. The Lakers missed 7 free throws, 13 of 20 for 65%, and they went 15 for 21 for 71%. Both teams had 38 boards. They had 9 offensive boards. We had 7. They had 24 assists. We had 21. They had 10 steals. We had 5. They had 5 blocks. We had 7. They had 11 turnovers, 13 points conceded off of those. The Los Angeles Lakers had 19 turnovers, 28 points conceded off of those turnovers. They had 21 fast break points to our 11. They had 56 points in the paint to our 26. They had a 12-point lead at one point. We had a 5-point lead. Wow, bro. Wow. I'm going to start with the winners. Julius Randle had 22 points, 1 steal, 4 assists, 5 boards on 6 of 13, 1 of 4 from the field. From the 3, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. You let Julius get to the line that many times. That's not good. Jaden McDaniels had 30 points. Wow. 13 of 22 from the field, 1 of 5 from the 3. 30 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 5 boards. Rudy Gobert had 1 point, 1 block, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 3 boards. Mike Conley, 4 of 6 from the field, 9 points, 1 steal, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. Ant-Man shot 12 of 26 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. 29 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 8 assists, and 8 boards. He's getting the game ball, man, even though Jaden McDaniels played really, really well there. Ant-Man was the difference. Naz Reid, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3 for 11.6 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo, 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3 for 10 points, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 4 assists, and 5 boards for Dante. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 1 of 3 from the 3, 1 of 4 from the field, 4 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, and 3 boards. And for the losing Los Angeles Lakers, Rui Hachimura, 8 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. LeBron James, 13 of 21 from the field, 5 of 9 from the 3. 7 of 10 from the free throw line for 38 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 4 assists, and 10 rebounds. 3 of them offensive. Jackson Hayes, 9 minutes of play, 1 of 2 from the field, 2 points, 1 rebound. Luka the Don, 6 of 16 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. 15 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. 5 turnovers, Luka. It was a flu game for Luka, so I would give him a little bit of a pass there. Austin Reeves, 20 points, 1 block, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, 7 of 18 from the field, 5 of 11 from 3. 41 minutes of play there for those guys. Luka had 40 minutes and LeBron had 41. Rui had 38 minutes. That's all noteworthy, I think. Dorian Finney-Smith had 29 minutes of play, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3 for 8 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Vanderbilt, 1 of 1 from the field, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block in just 13 minutes. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3 for 5 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. Jordan Goodwin, 1 of 3 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3 for 3 points, 1 steal, 1 block, and 2 rebounds. And everybody else got in garbage time except for Markieff Morris. Dalton Knecht missed a 3. That was about it. Yeah, man, we really I thought we played very hard. We had moments where we played well, but we just turned the ball over in ridiculous fashion. And as a result, you got to give credit to the Minnesota Timberwolves for putting on a phenomenal defensive performance that really flustered a number of our players and put us in positions to turn the ball over. And then from there, we had some unforced turnovers that they were able to take advantage of as well. And they turned all of them into points. They turned all of them into points, basically. You're talking about 19 turnovers, 28 points conceded off of those. Turn them all into points. And as you can see that we only attempted 78 field goals to their 91. The difference was all in transition. And then they killed us in the paint 56-26. And this is what we've been talking about, y'all. When you don't have any rim protection, you don't allow yourself those players that ultimately provide you that you go up against a team that has size, all they have to do is just decide to attack you in the paint. And you have nothing to protect yourself. And so that's what they were doing through the good portion of the first 2 quarters. Their offense was about just getting in there and laying the ball up, dunking the ball. Ant-Man, those guys are just scoring in the paint. Julius just in the paint. Jaden McDaniels, they're just getting in the paint, laying the ball up, stuff like that. This is what I was worried about. This is exactly why I'm not as confident about us throughout the course of this playoffs. You just can't leave yourself without rim protection in this league, man, especially in the Western Conference. I think a lot of our problems start in the end with us just not having enough rim protection. Because you can live with on-ball defense being crazy and you turn the ball over here and there, stuff like that. But once you start figuring out how they actually beat you in transition, they beat you in transition a lot of the times because you didn't have nothing to stop them. And a lot of times I thought the Lakers tonight, you have too many unnecessary fouls on shot attempts that converted. So you were giving them 3-point plays on plays where you probably should have just let them have it. I think we saw about 3 or 4 of those, and when you add those up, that's probably pretty much the 12-point deficit. Let them go, bro. If we don't have any rim protection, we get that. But if you're not gonna flagrant foul the man so that he can't make the shot, then don't foul him. You saw that so many times tonight. It was kind of ridiculous. He had unforced turnovers turned into transition buckets. LeBron James fumbling off of his hands, just unforced. Austin Reeves trying to go behind his back. They figured that play out, bro. You're gonna have to figure out another thing if you're gonna dribble the ball and try to cross somebody over. That behind the back crap, they're reading that. They've seen it enough in film and they're reading it. And I think a lot of this had to do with just Minnesota being a better team tonight, honestly. The Lakers, hit some really good shots. We did some great shot making, but when Luka the Don is not himself, 17 points, he came in with some type of stomach flu. I don't know what happened. Did he eat something? Did he just catch a flu bug? I don't know, but he was closing out slow, and a lot of his minutes, especially in the first half, contributed to why they had a little bit of an edge on the offensive end because he just was it was like 4 on 5 out there. And he was helping us just enough on the offensive end at times, but defensively, he was slow to close out and stuff like that. And then I had a problem with the lineup that we went out there with. Some of the choices we made with our rotation, I just thought really worked against us, especially coming out of the locker room. We up by 4, and you start with Jackson Hayes, and you got Luka out there who's hobbled. So it just made for slow rotations. They were able to make a push in that third quarter. I thought we really. You just couldn't, certain things you were doing, you just couldn't get away with. You couldn't, you knew Jackson at this point had been a player that wasn't going to help you. But you start the third quarter with him. And you already got Luka, like I said, playing half mass. So that leaves you basically with 2 deficient players out there at once. That's something that JJ needed a feel for to just not let happen, especially coming out of the locker room. I thought that contributed a great deal to why they had the momentum that they did, why they felt as confident as they did. Couple that with us not having rim protection in other aspects of the game. It was just a lot of stuff that I thought simply was due to the deficiencies of the roster. I really thought tonight our deficiencies as a roster hurt us more than it had throughout the course of the series thus far. Tonight was the night where you really saw you just don't have enough. out there to really do it like you want to. Um, the deficiencies of certain players, like Rui Hachimura, did some good things, but he missed some shots down the stretch, some defensive plays. The tie up that Ant-Man had on him that they initially called as a foul, and they end up trying it again and finding out that not only did he tie Rui up, but the ball went off of Rui. Like stuff like that. It's just like, yo, great player versus average player, and stuff like this is going to happen to you. And we saw that happen tonight. Julius Randle attack a guy and he score on him. Jaden McDaniels get left open, hit a three. I thought Naz Reid hit some huge shots, especially down the stretch to kind of spread the lead a little bit. Dante DiVincenzo defensively was really tough, even though his shot making was poor. He definitely made up for it defensively tonight. So, Mike Conley in that corner three, the bank corner three. I mean, some of that stuff, I don't remember if that shot was particularly hit off of a turnover, but a lot of what they were able to do came off of us making mistakes and not handling the pressure that they placed on us well at all. I thought LeBron James was amazing. He tried to carry us. He just didn't have the help tonight. And if he could just get LeBron, Luka, and Austin on the same page in one game, I really think we're going to win that game. But we have yet to see it. I thought Austin was pretty good in the first half, kind of took his foot off the gas in the second half, and a lot of that had to do with the pressure they were putting on him. He had 4 turnovers. Rui had 3 turnovers. Vanderbilt got in foul trouble. I thought we looked really good at one point with Vanderbilt and Goodwin on the floor at the same time. We were really forcing turnovers. I thought we were a plus in those situations. Goodwin was a +9. I don't think he was utilized enough for the needs of the night. You consider he had 12 minutes. Vanderbilt had 13 minutes. Vando was a +5. He was a +9. You just didn't use those people enough. They were helping you more than you gave them credit for, JJ. And I think if you would have used them more, you give yourself a little bit of a better chance of winning. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Gabe Vincent started getting it together in the second half. In the first half, I was a little upset with him, but he did attempt some shots in the second half, kind of got involved. 16 minutes to Gabe for 5 minutes, 1 assist and 1 rebound. And I look at Jordan Goodwin getting 12 minutes, and he's giving me a little more defensively. I'm here to tell y'all that we could have won this game, but we did a few things wrong that really played into the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I thought our deficiencies as a roster was part of the problem. Our inexperience with our coach was part of the problem. This is just a game that you just say, you know what? If we would have just been a little sharper in certain areas as an organization, you probably win this game. If you had your center out there, you probably win this game. If a few of your players were a little more capable of helping you productive-wise, you could have won this game. If Alex Len was a better center, you could win this game. If Shake Milton was available to be a player that could actually be in rotation to relieve anything out there, that would have been helpful. If Jackson Hayes was a player in rotation, you know what I mean? Like, certain stuff is just because of the deficiencies of your roster. And I really, genuinely, as I was watching this game, just saying, we're just not good enough to win this game tonight. We're just not good enough to win this game tonight. We were good enough to hit certain shots, but when you have Luka not 100% and kind of slow out there, now you need other people to step up. And if I'm being honest with you, they may not be good enough to step all the way up. Jackson Hayes ain't good enough to step all the way up. Gabe Vincent ain't good enough to step all the way up. Like literally. And so while LeBron James was tugging and just dragging this team, and Austin was able to hit some threes, you still had some deficiencies where it's just like, yo, Rui ain't about to give you no more than 8 points tonight, bro. He's just not. He's just not good enough to really do it. -19 for Rui. I thought he had some good moments. I thought he did some good things here and there. But his deficiencies tonight really hurt us. He needed to be a more sharp version of himself tonight, because The other guys on the other team, they were a little sharper. Nas was a better version. Dante was a little better defensively. Mike Conley was more contributor tonight. McDaniels was a star tonight. Julius was Julius, for which we're having a hard time dealing with any damn way, especially when he's getting to the line 10 times. I just thought their team was better than ours tonight. I really did, man. I thought they were the better team. And your turnovers, I thought a lot of the turnovers had to do with them forcing them, but the ones that they didn't force, they also capitalized on. They were just a better team, man. They benefited from stronger, faster, longer players tonight. I think that's what really, higher level role players tonight. They really did. They benefited from that. They benefited from the crowd. Got to give credit to the Minnesota Timberwolves crowd for being extremely loud tonight. They were really good. And like I said, I thought our shot making was pretty good. Our offense improved some. We only scored 104 points. That was a problem. But I think when you consider Luka was significantly worse than he normally is, if you had a normal Luka tonight, you probably score 117 points. You probably get enough. So, it's low-hanging fruit to sit up here and say, yo, Luka, why weren't you healthy tonight? Who knows, right? Did you eat something? Did you drink last night? It's going to be that type of stuff. I don't know what it is, man. But if he would have had him be 100% tonight, I think we win this game. But he gave us what he had, and I wasn't mad at him. I really wasn't. I thought he had a lot coming up against him as well. You give credit to the defense against him, man. Guys like Jaden McDaniels. When Jaden McDaniels is playing like a superstar, which he has basically for 2 out of 3 games, yeah, you're going to lose that game in some cases. You're going to lose that game, especially if you can't get average amount out of your other guys. But what I also understand is that Minnesota's others have been inconsistent in this series, just like our others have been inconsistent in this series. So I don't know what I'm going to get if I'm Coach Finch in the next game from these same people that went off tonight. Judging by how things are going in this series, you probably ain't getting nothing from them at all. So, and then our guys may go off, But I can tell you this, just from a production standpoint, I'm still not getting nothing from my bench as it pertains to scoring. Goodwin 3 points, Vincent 5 points, Vando 3 points, Dorian 8 points. I'm not getting nothing out of my bench from a scoring perspective. And then I'm seeing Dalton Connect, my lottery pick, getting 1 minute in this game. I'm sorry, JJ. You can't get away with this. You're not getting away with this. You're down 2-1 in the series. You're not scoring any more than 104 points is the most you scored against this team, bro. 3 games. Your offense isn't doing anything for you, JJ. I hate to tell you this, bro. Austin, you can't seem to free him loose. He cannot get loose of none of these on-ball defenders. I guess I just got to shift back to the saying, hey, they are doing a great job on our guys. They're doing a great job on our guys defensively. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, Ant-Man, they're all doing a great job on our people defensively. Dante DiVincenzo, they were great tonight. They were the better team by far, man. You look at the steals numbers. Julius had 1, Jaden had 2, Rudy had 2, Conley had 1, Ant-Man had 2, Dante had 1, Nickeil had 1. They stole the ball. They stole the ball from our guys, man. They wanted it a little more at times. 50-50 balls and stuff. They wanted it a little more. They were a little smarter tonight. Taking care of themselves. Not fouling in some areas where we did. Yeah, the total fouls, we had a little more fouls than them, 23-19. And like I said, it just punched us in the gut, man. They got out in the fast break, 21-11. They punched us in the gut, 56-26. That's a 30-point difference in the points in the paint. You're not gonna win. An 8-point difference in the turnovers and a 15-point difference in the points conceded off of turnovers. They kicked your butt. They kicked your butt. They kicked your butt, LA. You thought your team rebounded pretty well, but we had been shooting the free throws so well throughout the course of this series. Now we missed 7 free throws, 65%. You're gonna lose that game. You're gonna lose that game for sure. They shot better from behind the arc, 17 of 40. Yeah, that's cool, but they shot well enough to keep up with you and shot significantly more field goals because you kept turning the ball over and leaving your gut open with no rim protection. So. Yeah, man. I know there's more series to play, but we wanted to see some things we didn't see tonight. Scoring the ball, you were hoping to really have a breakout night where you could really score a lot. We didn't prove that we could really score against this team. Not enough to win the series. Um, and I knew they would get their scoring back together because I showed you illustrated throughout the course of the last couple of weeks where they've been scoring over 120 points damn near. So, that this is why my pessimism was as it was in the video that I made today while I was walking down the street. It's just certain stuff that I'm looking at here, and I'm just saying, even though we were tied 1-1, if the numbers maintain the way they are, we're gonna lose this series. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the numbers didn't really deviate from what we had seen, except for the fact that they were able to flex even more in the areas where they can really be strong. Fast break, defensive pressure turning into turnovers, and easy buckets for them. I see Minnesota just having a better way to attack us than we have to attack them. That's what I see. Matchups tell the story, and this is a matchup that just does not favor the Los Angeles Lakers through 3 games. It just don't. We need them to shoot significantly worse than they would on average in order to win the way that these teams are playing, the way that they're able to attack us defensively, the way they're capable of scoring in our paint without rim protection. We need them to shoot poorly. And they have really good role players who, especially at home, you just don't expect them to do that. So I don't like us right now. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I don't like us. LeBron had his breakout game. It didn't lead to no victory. I mean, Luka the Don had a sick game in a game like this. It's difficult for us. We needed him to be 100% tonight, and he just wasn't. We needed him to be more energetic tonight, and he just wasn't there. And, you thought you can get away with having Jackson Hayes as your center, bro, going into the playoffs, but Jackson Hayes is not a very good player, man. I'm just going to be honest with you, he's not. He's not a very good player. Rui's not a very good player. I like these guys for what they can do, but when it's time for to really get down with the nitty-gritty, like, can I rely on these people as starters? The answer is no, I can't. If Rui was my sixth man off the bench, I feel great. But he's in the starting lineup, and like I said, the energy was good, defensive energy was good, but like some of the heady stuff, you couldn't live with those problems. Vanderbilt, his offensive deficiencies, even though he had a pretty good game, getting stripped and stuff like that, showing the ball and the kill, stripping them in the corner, like these little plays, like if these players were just a little more talented, bro, you probably wouldn't have these problems. Dorian Finney-Smith, love him to death, but I need more than 8 points in the playoff game like this, especially when other people ain't doing nothing. Gabe Vincent, like, what the hell? Where are you? Like, literally, where are you, bro? It's the playoffs. You're supposed to be a playoff performer. I'm getting 5 points, 1 assist, and 1 board. That's just not enough production, brother. It's just not, man. Offensive, not even offensive. That's not the word. Roster deficiencies, man. That's the story for me tonight. Roster deficiencies in the choices JJ used, the options he used. They did not pay him dividends tonight, bro. They didn't. You needed more Jordan Goodwin. You needed more Vanderbilt. You needed more defense in general tonight. You needed Jackson Hayes to not start the third quarter. You needed a lot of things on your end. You need to handle pressure better. You need Luka the Don to be sharp. You needed a lot of stuff that you didn't have tonight, Lakers. And given that you had all that not working out, I thought you played pretty well, for being completely honest with you. With all those things working against you, I thought you did a great job of hitting shots, taking big punches and dishing them back out. But at the end of the day, you just needed to use what little you had a little better than you did. And it's a damn shame because we wasted a fantastic LeBron James game. We really did. He was good, man. He was really good tonight. But as we talked about, and one of the many things we mentioned in that long video I made yesterday, he doesn't affect winning like he used to. It just, he could have a game like this, you still lose. This is exactly what I was talking about. It ain't his fault. It just, he can go off and you still lose. That's the problem. It's just the way this roster is constructed. And I thought he did a lot of winning things tonight, but we still lost. And that's why it's so important that Luka the Don take care of himself. Whatever the hell that looks like, bro. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know if he ate something. Maybe he ate something he shouldn't have. It could happen to anybody. It has happened to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But however the hell we find ourselves in this situation, we needed more than 17 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds from Luka Doncic, bro. We need better than 5 turnovers from Luka Doncic in Game 3 of the first round of the series. And it just wasn't available to us. So we're down 2-1. There's still a lot of, we don't have our back against the wall. We need to get the split in the series. Game is on Friday, and we will be ready for it. The game's on Sunday, and we'll be ready for it. One of them early afternoon games, which we've been doing pretty good on these games lately. 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Get a little time to rest, you know what I mean? Tomorrow we will have off, and then we'll be ready on Sunday, man. I guess that's not really much rest, but, let's spend too much time in Minnesota. But we do need to get this victory there. It's of the utmost importance to extend this series and not have our back against the wall trying to win one in LA when they have already won a game in LA. So it's a series, man. We're not out of it, not by any stretch of the imagination, but there are things going on right now that I just say, man, if we keep making these same type of mistakes, we're going to be home before we know it. So that's pretty much it, man. That is my thoughts. Real tough loss. I didn't think we played particularly poorly, but there were some things that we did in this game that were awful for ourselves, against ourselves, the turnovers and stuff like that, and just some of that stuff we're gonna have to allow based on our deficiencies. But some of that stuff is you're gonna have to also tip your hat at the other team. But you are what you are, man. So you got to use the little you have to the best of its ability, and I don't think we did that tonight. I really don't, man. So this was a real bummer. It was a hard game to watch, and like I said, I give all the credit to Minnesota. They were the better team tonight. They played us hard. They grinded out a very tough win. We gave them all they could handle, even as we were deficient. And I'm glad that Austin kind of got his scoring back together. I'm glad LeBron had his scoring together tonight. But now we didn't have Luka. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the struggle continues. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. Out.